Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the Dabs of Reality Show. I'm your host, Tom Crawshaw, and today I want to talk about the legalization of magic mushrooms. Yes, that's right. Magic mushrooms are being legalized all over the world, and it starts one step at a time. Just like with cannabis in the US and Canada and other places around the world, it all started with medicinal and therapeutic usages of these substances. We're talking about psilocybin in particular. This is the active psychoactive compound inside magic mushrooms. So as you can see here on my screen, this is an article from Vice. This was published on August the 17th. And right now, Canada have set a precedent by granting permission for psilocybin to be used for end-of-life therapy. Now, as we can see in this article, I'm going to put the link below. Canada have decided through non-profit organizations to offer a therapeutic treatment for people at end of life. So we're talking about people with terminal illness. We're talking about people here with cancer that could obviously be suffering from anxiety, depression, just thinking about the fact that they don't have long left on this planet. They're going to leave their family and their friends, and they're scared. So from the research that we've seen over at Johns Hopkins, let's bring up the study here. This was a study on cancer patients, and they found that psilocybin produces substantial and sustained decreases in depression and anxiety in patients with life-threatening cancer. And this was a randomized double-blind trial. And someone like myself who has experienced psilocybin many times in different dosages can attest that the experience is life-changing, and it gives you a whole new perspective on life, reality, existence, and what happens after we die. In fact, it gives us more hope because there is something unique about the psychedelic experience. Kind of peels back the layers and breaks down your beliefs about how reality works. Because right now we have this current paradigm in science called physicalism, or materialism. And ultimately, if we buy into that theory, which has been woven through science, we get taught this at school, the idea that consciousness is generated in the brain as an emergent feature of complex systems. Now, there's no proof for this. In fact, there's quite a lot of proof stacking up for the exact opposite, that consciousness is fundamental. And we get a glimpse of this during a psychedelic trip on psilocybin, for example. And so when we shift our belief from the physicalism, which means that when we die, when our brain stops working, we cease to exist. Pretty depressing thought that we just have this one lifetime, and as soon as we die, the lights go out, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The curtain comes down and the show is over. Now, I don't buy this theory for 1 second, and if you've experienced psychedelics, I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with me here that consciousness is fundamental, and this idea of a soul, this idea of our own consciousness that continues after we die, is actually something that I have experienced myself on psychedelics like psilocybin and DMT. And so I think this is what's happening with these patients. They're getting a reset of their default mode network, which helps with reducing the thoughts of anxiety, these ideas and thoughts that roll around in their head in circles over and over and over again that don't feel very good. And perhaps during the experience, they do connect with that consciousness. They do connect with this idea that we are consciousness having a human experience. So as you can see on the screen, this is what the study Johns Hopkins found out, that cancer patients actually have a substantially higher quality of life after a psilocybin experience, and it allows them to reflect on their life. It allows them to feel empathy and reconnect with family members and have honest conversations about the death process, which, to be fair, is something that we don't really talk about in society right now. So anyway, coming back to the legalization in Canada, this is for just therapeutic usages, but we also saw a precedent set in Denver when voters approved the decriminalization of magic mushrooms. Now, this isn't the same as what's happening in Canada. Now, you cannot use psilocybin in a commercial setting, in a therapeutic setting yet. And I'm going to stress the word yet because the wave is coming. Once the clinical stage 3 trials are published and we see the efficacy across a wide range of different pathologies, we're going to see that magic mushrooms rises to the top and actually will become a pretty substantial industry, just like the cannabis industry. So we can also see Oakland being the second US city to legalize magic mushrooms, or should I say decriminalize. Now, that is different to the legalization for therapeutic purposes. So this basically means that the authorities in these particular cities and states are not prioritizing the arrest and the prosecution of anybody that's found with magic mushrooms, for example. Now, of course, over here in Europe, we have the Netherlands, and the Netherlands, for decades now has set a precedent for legalizing what we have usually classed in the West as dangerous drugs, right? So in Netherlands, you can go to a coffee shop, you can buy cannabis, you can smoke it, and you can also buy psychedelic truffles. So these truffles are, I guess, the part of the mushroom that grows under the earth. And through some kind of loophole here, they're allowed to sell them in the Netherlands, in these coffee shops, in these head shops. You're going to be able to find them there. Now, they can't actually sell the mushroom. Now, when I was in the Netherlands, oh gosh, like 10, 12 years ago, I could actually walk into a store and buy fresh magic mushrooms. But things have changed, and now it's only truffles that are available. But Netherlands have obviously set a massive precedent, and now we're seeing across the world this wave of scientific literature and studies coming out around the efficacy of psilocybin on many, many conditions, from anxiety to depression to cluster headaches, and to relieving that end-of-life anxiety that a lot of people are having when they have a terminal condition. So listen guys, this is all for this video. I just wanted to share with you some news, and if you've enjoyed this video, if you want me to bring more news around different psychedelics that's happening in the media right now, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you think is going to happen in the psychedelic space around the world as decriminalization and legalization starts to have a ripple effect, a domino effect all over, and we start to see the emergence of a new market, a new therapeutic market, and ultimately what I hope will be a new recreational market for psilocybin and magic mushrooms. Now, I'm not saying that as irresponsibly, but what I envision is treatment centers where people can go, they can have an experience, whether they have a pathology, whether they are looking to treat something or not. It's really exciting stuff, guys. And if you like this video, click the like button, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, catch you on the flip side. Peace.